What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another F1 24 My Team Career Mode episode. Today, round 6, I had to check, season 2 around Imola. I'm not going to say the full long name because I can't. I should probably try and learn that at some point, maybe by next year's game, which has just been announced actually as of when I started recording this video. Maybe that was the motivation to get me back on F1 24, was to give me some teaser for F1 25, but nevertheless we're here now. We're gaining multiple tenths down the straight. Hopefully we're going to carry that through the corners, but the sausage curbs just kind of getting in our way. Literally a speed bump on this racetrack, which you don't want to hit at all. Nicely dodging those ones there, and that gives us some time back on the card as we just don't even know where the apex is on that corner. But a purple sector 1 so far, so good. But I'm quite excited for the next game. I am going to finish this season of my team before the release of F1 25. So if you're excited about the game, I was thinking about doing a bit of reactions to, you know, the various gameplay trailers, the reveal trailer that we already have. I know everyone who does anything to do with the F1 games has already spit out a million videos about F1 25, you know, their hopes, their dreams, their nightmares, their own reaction to the trailer, and I've been completely neglecting this lap as we're rounding the final corner. 0.6 improvement in Q1. We're in P10 now. Where is this going to take us? It's P2 on the road behind Fernando Alonso, just ahead of Sergio Perez. So nicely on to Q2. But yeah, I am thinking about doing some reactions to the trailers, but at the same time, that's not what I really want to do. I want to play the game, man. Get me the game. I am going to get this career mode finished first, though. Nice turn 1. Bit of oversteer mid-corner, which is kind of scary, but we actually land it pretty nicely for T2, and now down into this little chicane kind of there. I really don't want to go too deep and touch any part of that gravel because it will spit you out if you don't give it some breathing room. Sentences are hard, man. You can tell it's been a little while since I've recorded a voiceover for one of these. But here we are. Let me know if you guys are excited about F1 25. I'm excited because it's a new game, you know? Like there's going to be something different. And yeah, that's just something I'm excited for. A bit of a change because, yeah, I feel like once you play a game like the F1 games or FIFA or Pro Evolution Soccer, whatever it is, even, you know, is it Madden? Pretty sure it's Madden. Pretty sure I used to play it. Don't know if it's called the same thing, because FIFA isn't. So if FIFA can have its name changed, then so can Madden, so. Anyway, massive tangent aside, just excited to potentially have something a bit different, something new. Obviously we had driver career, which I didn't really touch at all this year. I just love my team. I love being able to create my own team, and I think that's something that would be great to see if they improve it for F1 25. But we're in Q3. That's what we should care about right now, instead of games that are going to come out in, well, yeah, like just over 2 months time, something like that, roughly, a little bit less. But anyway, I'm back talking about the other game when I should be talking about this lap. So if you're stuck with me this far, let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on everything you've seen so far. But overall, a pretty tidy lap, besides a few missing apexes here and there. But a pretty decent lap, very, very nearly cutting that corner too much. The sausage curbs didn't destroy my car, and that one was quite nice, I think. So far, so good. Green sector 1, green sector 2. Not much battery left at all. Where is this going to put us on the grid provisionally, bearing in mind this is only one of the laps in Q3, but I did do another because I edited it myself. So from P10, provisionally P6, but let's have a look at the starting grid for the Grand Prix. Sergio Perez taking pole position. Now, I think Verstappen has a grid penalty, but they had the exact same time in Q3, but Russell rounds out the front row, followed by Sainz, Alonso, ourselves in P5, Hamilton P6, Norris 7th, followed by Lance Stroll, and then Oscar Piastri, the McLaren teammate. Daniel Ricciardo in P10, Max Verstappen P11, Tsunoda, Magnussen, Ocon, Albon, Gasly, Dennis Hauger, Charles Leclerc in 18th, something's definitely gone wrong there, Zhou Guanyu 19th, Sargent, Hulkenberg, and Teo Pourchaire round out our 22 drivers for the first of 2 Italian Grand Prix this season. Now, no wise words from our race engineer Mark. Obviously, we're just going to speed through this strategy decision for the race. I did play around with, soft medium, medium soft. Eventually went with hard medium, so we've got a job to do. Mediums for everyone around us. All the lights are on. Now they're out. So we go racing in Imola. A lot of wheel spin off the start, and who is that with an absolute launch? That's Hamilton, coming from a couple of positions back. Well, actually, he was just behind us, but he's already up to P4. So we're going to go round the outside. Not 1, not 2. Is it going to be 3? Not quite. Sergio Perez just has the run on us there on the mediums. He's going to have superior grip. We just managed to get lucky with everybody else kind of getting boxed in behind the Red Bull. And we're up to P3 from P5. So a very, very nice start for us. But we've got to get these tyres working for us as soon as we can, because you can just see the Red Bull and the Ferrari slowly getting away as we go around the circuit for the first time. And we've got another 21 to go. So we've got to make the most out of these early laps. Try and stick with them. The Red Bull with a bit of a snap mid-corner there, but kept it in one piece this time. Now we've got Fernando. We've got Fernando Alonso. Is that right? It's not right, obviously. It's Fernando Alonso. But we've got him for company right behind us. He's on mediums as well, and he's been pretty quick. You'll remember in qualifying, he was pretty much always ahead of us throughout qualifying, so interesting to see him behind us. Not going to get a run on us this time. We've got the slipstream just as strong as he does, to be honest. As we're going to go for a move on Sergio Perez. We're going to have a bit of a look, but just not enough road to make a move. And yeah, Fernando Alonso is now potentially looking for a bit of a move himself, but again, it's just not quite an overtake in the cards just there. We've got the strongest engine by a mile in the field, so once we get up to speed, there's no stopping us. Yeah, the only things that can hurt us really are the drag and the weight. So acceleration and cornering performance really are where we're weakest, as Sergio Perez makes a move around the outside on Carlos Sainz. Easy move under DRS for the Red Bull, and yeah, they're definitely going to be scrapping that one out. Interesting that Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen are both down the order, really. So there's only really one Red Bull, one Ferrari. So we get a massive snap of oversteer under traction, which has left us a bit vulnerable from Fernando Alonso behind us in the Aston Martin, which, I think there's a couple of Aston Martins in the top 10 as there are Mercedes, but they're still sort of mid-pack 10s as we go round the outside of Carlos Sainz, trying not to make contact with the rear wheels of Sergio Perez. Somehow make it through unscathed. And now it's time just to sit behind, potentially, the Red Bull on mediums as we go a bit wide. That's what I was trying to avoid in qualifying. We survive it. Surprisingly, at the time, I thought we were done for. I did not see us coming out of that situation alive, really. Just purely because when you lose the traction on gravel, your car just goes. But I think we just had enough kind of grip when we re-entered the track, and it wasn't all four wheels, or it wasn't all, both rear wheels on the gravel. But so far we've had a pretty tidy lap. I think we're definitely stronger than the AI in some of the slower speed corners, which I'm not really sure why, but you can see under brakes especially, we seem to have the edge on them around this circuit. Sergio Perez is going to be vulnerable here though. He doesn't have DRS. We do. We saw how this went down with Perez and Sainz before, as we make a little bit of contact with the rear of the Red Bull. No damage done to our front wing though, thankfully. An easy move as we decide to ruin it with a nice suspension test over the sausage curbs. But yeah, so far this race is going to plan, to say the least, and I'm fairly confident with our engine power and our ERS. I'm fairly confident we could survive the pit straight with a car behind us having DRS and ourselves without DRS. I think. We're going to have to find out, because that DRS zone is going to be coming up very shortly. I'm going to have to take a bit of a tea break. Don't worry, I paused the recording, I'm back now. This is post tea break, and don't worry, the tea time alarm didn't go off. Goes off in about 15 minutes or so I think we're good. Anyway, we tried to get Perez out of DRS. We haven't quite done it, it looks like. The DRS detection is just before those two final corners. So 1:16.2 for us, which is our best so far, but clearly not quite enough to get Perez out of DRS, as we're locking up slightly heading into the penultimate corner there, and Perez is looking dangerously close. We do have about 70% battery, so now is our first real test, as I'm not even using the battery. I am now, but look at the overspeed of that Red Bull. So he goes down the inside. Are we going to have a look around the outside? Yes, we are. Little dummy to the inside to make Sergio go defensive, but we swoop around the outside, giving him a nice squeeze on the apex for good measure. And now it looks like with, we lay our entire battery on the line, and we do manage to get the Red Bull outside of DRS. And that is a nicely placed subscribe button. Thank you, editor version of me. But that was also kind of distracting. Distracting? Is that a word? Absolutely not. But we have broken the DRS to those behind. Again, they're going to be looking to pit. I think they're side by side actually in T1 and T2. Yes, they are. And that's cost them about half a second. So although we were on the brink of getting within the DRS of those behind us, their battling and their fighting between themselves has let us kind of walk away a little bit from the rest of the pack, which is actually an absolute miracle for us, because we're on the slower tyre. Like right now, maybe relatively the hard is a bit faster than the medium, or maybe they're about equal. But the medium pit stop is about lap 10, I think, 10 or 11. Maybe it's lap 11, considering we're now on lap 11 and they haven't pit yet, as we make a little bit of a mistake, go a little bit deep in there. They do have the DRS back, but if they pit this lap, it doesn't matter anyway. They can't use DRS in the pit lane. I mean, you could, but you're still limited to the speed limit, so it doesn't really matter. But I don't think you're allowed to. So there they are, peeling into the pits. So now, as Mark has just said in my ears, we have to pit this lap. Well, we don't have to, but we have to push now, because they're going to be pitting. You can see on the mini-map in the bottom left, we're just, on the sort of straight bit, going from right to left, just there. Everybody else is still in the pit lane. So we're going to have probably like 26 seconds, something like that, of a gap between us. Everybody else has gone on to hards. We're going to go on to mediums at some point, potentially this lap. But my thinking at the moment is, can I do an impression of Alex Albon? And you might be wondering what I mean by that. A few years ago in Australia, Melbourne, he went the entire race on hard tyres and then pit on the very last lap to make sure that he wasn't disqualified. And this is kind of what I've been thinking over the past few laps. I mean, we're on lap 17 now, and we've actually pulled out one more second over that time, but we are going to box. Anyway, at the end of lap 17, we should have a bit of a gap. They might undercut us slightly and get ahead, but we're not going to drop to the back of that train for sure. There's no way. But we just need a good pit stop from the guys here, and we should be good. You can see them coming around the penultimate corner now. They are just making their way around the final corner. We're heading towards the pit exit. They are going to be absolutely rapid compared to me, though. Teo Porcher's out of the session in Sector 2. Here comes Carlos Sainz and Perez and Russell and Alonso as we get struck from behind. Suddenly, what was that? There's a safety car deployed. I've not even edited this little bit I'm just showing you what I saw at the time. I don't normally show you if I pause it, for example, because it has happened before where I've had to pause it. Editing is a nightmare, but Sergio Perez just drove into the back of us there. We're going to get another angle of that for sure, but he went to overtake Sainz. Let's have a look at this from his perspective. There's Sainz. There we are. He's trying to overtake Sainz around the outside, and he just went into a closing gap and sacrificed his wheel for it. That's crazy. Was not expecting that at all. But now, that's basically handed us the race, right? Like, we're on medium tyres that are like a couple of laps old, but safety car laps. Sainz is on hard tyres. He's the only car ahead of us, and he's been on these tyres for 9 laps. Albeit a few of them behind the safety car as well, but you know, he's done racing on those. Like, there's no way he's going to have the grip or the pace that we do. Surely not, and especially when we get DRS. But do we even need it? Look at this. We can just drive past him. That's got to be engine power right there, right? And then that's, I guess, aerodynamics of his drag reduction and maybe some battery usage. But you might be thinking, why wasn't I using my battery? What am I doing? You're not even a good YouTuber. I don't know what you guys think. The tea time alarm isn't real. You know, you can think what you want, but it's not gonna, you know, change the truth that the tea time alarm is real. But all I'm doing here, you can see I'm still warming up the tyres slightly. We're about to get to the final lap of the Grand Prix. I probably could break DRS in 1 lap. But if I couldn't, then I'm basically handing the win to Sainz if he gets past me. Or, what I can do, is wait for DRS, overtake Sainz with ease, use all of my battery, get fastest lap, and win the race. What's the choice? There we go, there's hot lap in the bottom right. You can see I've just changed the ERS mode there, just to make sure we have ample pace as I actually go wide on the final corner, and look at the advantage that has given Carlos Sainz. You thought it was going to go smoothly, but you forgot who you're watching. But anyway, final lap, all the ERS, DRS as well. Where we're going to go? Outside, inside, outside, inside. Carlos Sainz turns in. We just make the corner. Not sure if Sainz has damage from that, but that is crucial for this race. That has literally handed us the win. But I'm pretty sure Sainz turned in on us there. Comment stewards, do your thing. Internet stewarding 101. Was I at fault there? I don't think so. I think Sainz turned in too early. I don't know if Russell tried to go to the outside actually as well. Maybe. But it's a final lap. We've pulled out a second already in the first sector. Not a great first sector. I'm going to blame the first corner incident on that. But let's see where we end up with sector 2. There we go, nice and purple. Thank you very much, Mr. Medium Tyres, as we do a massive leap over that speed bump on the inside of that chicane. And now we're heading towards the penultimate corner, the double left-hander here at Imola that rounds out the lap. Nice turn in, nice acceleration there as well, and even on the final corner as well. We've got a 1:16.2 to beat of our best time, and it's a 1:15.2. I believe, to take the fastest lap.
That's a race win and your second race win in a row. Fantastic job.
Did you guys... Oh my god, there's multiple cars running into the back of me down this straight. I think that's the third one in...
And that's it then for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. And what a sensational victory they've managed to pull off here.
Yeah, absolutely sensational.
And that's 2 wins in a row now. It's the start of potentially something special, but they can't get ahead of themselves just yet. It's a long way to go.
Oh no, I'm gonna get ahead of myself. Look at me celebrating. Yeah, it's absolutely more than ahead of myself. What was that jump?
Welcome then to the podium, our top 3 drivers. What a great effort from them today in a very difficult race.
I mean, I don't think it was that difficult really. I had some good practice. Sainz and Perez kept themselves busy, and I just drove around the circuit. It was a decent race, but I wouldn't say it was anything special from my part. I think the pace on the hard was decent, but the hard tyres last forever in this game. There wasn't that much really standing in my way. Because, yeah, I think if the hard tyres, like if I was on mediums, it was a whole different story.
After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time out? Be sure to join us once again as we continue to bring you all the excitement of Formula One.
Indeed, Crofty. There we go. The win and fastest lap. 26 points to our name. P1, Carlos Sainz. P2, followed by Russell, Alonso, Hamilton, Stroll, Verstappen, Piastri, Norris, Leclerc, Ricciardo, Ocon, Tsunoda, Magnussen, Pierre Gasly. P15. Not good enough, thank you. Hauger, Zhou Guanyu, Albon, Sargent, Hulkenberg, Perez and Pourchaire with the DNF each. There. Now, driver standings. Would you look at that? 11 points behind from Charles Leclerc. That was a crucial race for us as, we got a lot more points than Charles Leclerc did. And that is for certain. In the Constructors, P3. We'll take it. We kind of need our teammate to perform, though, and get us some points as well. But we are doing pretty well, I think, considering. I would love to claim one of the championships this year. I think driver is the most realistic. But maybe I can do something about Ferrari and Red Bull. Like, if I was able to get my hands on Carlos Sainz, or Charles Leclerc, or someone like that, maybe we could take both. So we'd steal away one of the drivers, right? So immediately they're a driver down. Not that you have to race with one driver from that point on, but we take away one of the top performing drivers and we add them to our roster. Immediately makes our team better and their team worse, tactically speaking. It might make it harder in the drivers, but it might make it easier, because our car is worse than the Ferrari and the Red Bull. So, yeah, we should do well if we were able to get one. So we're going to find out. I think Gasly's contract is up in 26 days after this race. So we'll see what happens. I've marked someone to watch. We'll see if they want to become part of the team. I imagine they won't. And if they don't, I guess we've got to hope for Drivers' Championship. I've had far too many developments and upgrades fail recently. I think I've had like 4 in a row, which I really don't know what I should do with that. I don't know if it's just luck at that point, but again, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm going to try and upload again this week, obviously to try and catch up, but rest assured the season will finish before F1 25, and don't forget to let me know what you want me to do in next year's game. Can I carry on this storyline with Cadillac Andretti Budo F1 team? I don't know. Driver career completely, what do you think? Let me know in the comments.